The innkeeper said the library is on the left, starting from this. I better solve the clue left by my father first. Good morning.
Good morning. How can I help you?
What happened to Boun-Town in the last few years?
The city has always held more allure, at the expense of the small villages, and Boun-Town is no exception. All the young people left when they had the chance, leaving the town in its current sorry state. It seems you know our town well, although you're so young. Can I ask your name?
Of course. I'm Willy Morgan.
I'm Margaret. Margaret Teach. But for those who attend the library, I'm just Margaret. Once there was a Morgan here in Boun-Town too. Then he left, seeking fortune, and he became famous. But he never stopped coming back to visit Boun-Town. I don't think you know him.
You mean Henry Morgan by any chance?
You surprise me, and that doesn't happen often.
The point is, I know him very well. Henry was my father.
I'm sorry, kid, I didn't know.
Don't worry, it's been a while.
10 years ago, right?
How do you know that?
Kid, I'm the librarian. I basically remember everything that is put on paper, and Henry used to come to our library a lot.
Do you know anything about his disappearance?
Unfortunately, only what I've read about. One night he was here in Boun-Town. The morning after, it's like he vanished into thin air. Not a clue, not a trace. No letters or anything that could have guided the search parties to a solution.
Do you know what he was working on in his final research?
I don't know. He always read a lot, basically all the tomes you can find in here. And sometimes at his request, I had to order books from other cities as well.
Do you know if he had enemies, maybe?
Henry? Let's be serious. I think there were very few men as affable as him.
Thanks for the information.
Don't mention it. If I can be of any more help, just ask.
I need to consult one of your tomes.
It's always a pleasure when someone wants to benefit from the services offered by our library. What are you looking for?
Properties of concrete.
Oh, what a surprise! It's not among the more popular in Boun-Town. I guess this is the second consultation in more than 10 years.
Doesn't it get the attention it deserves?
Here in Boun-Town, people don't read a lot, especially a book like that. I could never have managed to face it either.
Where can I find it?
I guess it's somewhere on the upper floor. You should recognize it easily.
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Boun-Town Library. If you need a specific book, you can ask me, Miss Teach, or just Margaret.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. It's stuck under the huge number of books on the desk. I must find a way to free it. This lock is peculiar to say the least. I'm pretty sure that I'd need a special key if I wanted to open it. I don't know how, but I hope it might come in handy. I don't think I should use it on the book. Let's try. It worked! Check out what we have here. Let's see what it is. It's another letter from my father. It's dated July 22nd, 2008, earlier than the other one. There's also a piece of paper that seems more ancient, but I can't figure out what it is. Better take a look right now. If Dad did all this so that I'd find it, there must be something important. Now I understand what the piece of paper was that I found with the letter. Dad always performed great feats, but I never imagined he was looking for kids' treasure. It has always been said that it was basically a legend. I don't remember the complete story exactly, but maybe the librarian can help me. And I have a list of names. Better start asking information of the townsfolk, without attracting too much attention. I don't need my father's old library card anymore. Even if someone found it, it would be useless. I have the letter and the piece of map belonging to my dad. Am I wrong, or did you tell me your name is Margaret Teach?
That's correct.
Do you know a man named Charles Teach?
Your question surprises me. How do you know my great-great-grandfather?
I'm doing some research on the genealogy of Boun-Town, and I stumbled upon the Teach family.
Yes, it's been several generations now since the Teaches settled in Boun-Town.
What can you tell me about Charles Teach in particular?
He was the one who brought the name Teach here to Boun-Town. But of his past, little is known. My great-grandma told me that he was a former fisherman with a knack for books. This library is a donation he made to the city of Boun-Town just before he died. After he arrived here in Boun-Town, he devoted himself exclusively to reading, and many of these books were bought directly by him. He had so many of them that he basically founded the town library, which then became the family business for the following generations too.
And he didn't leave anything else apart from the books?
All he left is stored on the upper floor, but it's mostly junk. The real treasure was his books. There's also an old crate without a key, but it looks empty.
Do you by any chance know the story of Captain William Kidd?
Sure, it is mostly a legend. In the golden era of piracy, Kidd stood out for his endeavors, if you could call them that.
The endeavors of a pirate aren't exactly heroic most of the time.
Anyway, his ship, the Adventure Galley, was supposedly filled with treasures when it suddenly disappeared. A few years later, in 1701, Kidd was captured and executed, but his ship and the crew were never found.
What do you think happened?
What always happened at that time? Kidd and his crew squandered all the loot, and to cover their tracks, they sold or even burned the ship. After this story, Kidd became legendary.
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Boun-Town Library. If you need a specific book, you can ask me, Miss Teach, or just Margaret.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Very strange. I have the feeling I'm being watched. Better be careful. You never know what can happen in Boun-Town. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. I'm sorry, do we know each other?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Uncle Steve?
Uncle Steve? There was only one child that called me that. It can't be. Willy? Is that really you?
Yes, Steve, it's really me, Willy Morgan.
Son, how are you? Sorry if I don't get up, but my back is killing me. Sitting here all day is bad for my health.
All good, Steve. Thank you.
Tell me, what brought you back to Boun-Town? It's been years since the last time I saw you.
I've been missing Boun-Town.
I can hardly believe it. Lately, nobody ever comes back to Boun-Town.
For the anniversary of my dad's disappearance, it's been 10 years. I was thinking of swinging by the cemetery.
Already 10 years? Time seems to have stopped in Boun-Town since then. I sought refuge in my job to forget. I don't see your mother. Does she know you're here?
I told her I was leaving. She's away on a business trip.
How is she? I tried many times to contact you in recent years, but she never answered.
It was very tough for her, too. She preferred to make a clean break from the past, concentrating on me and her job. Boun-Town is a memory that still hurts a lot.
I understand.
How are things going here in Boun-Town?
Not very well, I'd say. becoming harder and harder to run Bones-Town. People leave, and the problems are constantly increasing.
Yes, when I got here, I had problems parking my bike.
Parking problems as well? That too must go on the list.
You mean the lack of courtesy at the old inn?
Are you staying at the old inn? The owner seems to be grumpy and surly. But actually, alright, I'll try to talk to him at the first opportunity. I'll write it down among the many things to do. I'd let you stay here, but to deal with the city expenses, I left my old house. Now I sleep in that little room over there. It's the only way I've found to be able to run Bones-Town as best as I can.
Have you ever thought of hiring someone to give you a hand?
Yes, but funds are limited, and nobody wanted to take on this responsibility.
I saw some construction work on the buildings.
That's one of the bigger problems in the city. It seems that our water resources are drying up. Some people say that upriver, certain companies have been doing excavations that caused the fracturing of some faults. But I launched an investigation. There's no correlation. So I'm trying to solve the problem by recovering rainwater. And at the moment, it seems to be working.
I hope so for Boone-Town. Do you remember what happened to my father?
It's always painful for me to talk about Henry. We grew up almost like brothers, before he decided to leave and become one of the most famous archaeologists in the world. Despite his work, he always found the time to come back here to the family, and to meet his old friends. Unfortunately, his disappearance is still shrouded in mystery. The night before that fateful day, we went out together. We said goodbye in front of the old inn, where he was staying. The next morning, I stopped by to say hello, and there was no trace of him. His room was intact. The innkeeper said he didn't see him going out. That's all I know. Since then, I've been racking my brain to understand what happened, but Henry seems to have vanished into thin air.
Just like Mom always tells me. Do you, by any chance, know what Dad was working on?
I wouldn't know. Whenever he'd come to Boone-Town, he told us fantastic stories of the places he explored. We felt like we were there with him.
Dad was always an exceptional narrator. When he told me a story before bed, I couldn't sleep right away, but instead spent a good part of the night fantasizing.
He used to do the same thing with us here in Boone-Town. Everyone was enthralled by him.
See you later.
Come back whenever you want. You'll always find me here.
Thanks. I don't think that ransacking this paperwork will help me in any way. Good morning.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I was just browsing.
No problem. But please don't touch anything without my permission. I've arranged everything so that it will make my work easier.
What work?
I'm developing a recipe that will make me rich. I just have to find the final ingredients.
Can I have some candies?
Unfortunately, I have to say no. The ones you see in the shop are needed to complete the recipe I'm working on, as well as for my livelihood.
I noticed.
If you have some pocket change, there's a candy vending machine right outside the shop. You can take as much as you want. It's only 5 cents for a candy.
Thanks a lot. What are you working on exactly?
It's a recipe of my own concoction for a new non-alcoholic drink. As soon as I find all the ingredients, I'll patent it. I've written everything I need on this piece of paper I found in the back room. There's still some ingredients missing to complete the recipe. Then I'm sure my life will take a turn, and I could say goodbye to Boone-Town.
Can I help you somehow?
Let me think. Maybe there's something you could do. I need to go to the warehouse to get some things I couldn't find anywhere else in town. But I need a specific plant that grows here in these surroundings. It's a plant with white flowers that only grows in places exposed to the sun, but also with enough moisture.
No problem. I'll see if I can pick one up and bring it to you.
No. It's extremely delicate. Any contact with the acids in human skin could ruin its essence. You should use specific instruments to pick it up and carry it. If you're willing to give me a hand, I can provide you with all you need.
All right.
Very well. Help yourself to the container and the trowel near the door. Once you've identified the plant, use the trowel to put it in the container.
I figured as much.
Thanks. It will also take me a while to find what I need in the warehouse. We'll meet back here.
All right. What's that piece of paper?
I honestly don't know. I was going through the back room when the new recipe suddenly hit me. I grabbed the first piece of paper I came across to write down the ingredients.
Can I see it?
I'd rather you not. Our sector is very competitive. If I let you read the ingredients, you could steal my recipe. I can give it to you after the recipe is completed, when I'll be sure nobody will copy my work.
Okay. Goodbye.
See you soon. When you find the plant with the white flowers, make sure to be as gentle as you can.
I'll do my best. I better be going now. The owner was clearly in a great hurry to leave. Hi.
Hello, welcome to the fabulous Boun-Town New Pub.
Is this supposed to be a pub?
It is. It's a full-fledged pub. You have the opportunity to select different drinks of your choice, and it's all automated.
At first sight, it looks more like a garage with vending machines.
Details. This is the future. People don't want to waste time with chatter. They want to get straight to the point. And I offer what they want. A valid alternative to the old and worn-down Boun-Town premises.
Maybe you should have invested a bit more in the interior design, like moving some tires or getting rid of the tools.
I appeal to a different clientele. A bit in the style of Dine and Dash, but more like Drink and Dash.
Well, if that is your philosophy, I'd say you've done a great job.
I know. Thank you.
How is business going in Boun-Town?
I only opened this business recently, but I'm very confident. The market research I did before opening in Boun-Town is very accurate. So it's just a matter of time, and then I'm sure I'll find great satisfaction.
What kind of market research?
I was passing by Boun-Town when I had a car problem. I asked for help from the town mechanic. After the hike to check out my stalled car, he asked me if by any chance I had something to drink. And so the light bulb went on in my head. Ding! If people here need takeaway drinks, I'll be here to serve them.
So you just relied on the opinion of a single person who happened to be thirsty.
Exactly. I know how to read the needs of a village. It's from little things that big projects grow.
I have some serious doubts, but I wish you luck.
Thanks, but luck doesn't have anything to do with it. Intuition and precise calculations are the foundations of every solid venture.
That's right, I agree. Who's the town mechanic?
He's a very skilled local handyman. They still call him the blacksmith here. He can fix practically anything. At first I had some problems with the vending machines, and he took care of making them go again. Now he's tinkering with my car. Now that I've moved here, I don't need it anymore. Since I have no urgency to get it fixed, I told the blacksmith he could work on it during the slow times. Since then, I haven't seen him around anymore.
I understand. Goodbye.
See you soon!
Let's see if there's anyone here. They could always come in handy. I don't know how, but it could be useful. Better take them with me. You never know. The engraving says J. Roger. Let's try to see if there's something that might be useful to my research. Oops, I better put everything back as it was. Sorry, my mistake.
Careful, boy. I don't like to repeat myself, so I'll tell you only once. It's not wise taking something without permission in a shop that sells weapons.
Thanks for the advice. This alarm is a problem. I have to find a way to avoid activating it. Sorry, can I take these scissors?
It seems to me it's the only thing suitable for you in this shop. Round edges for greater security. Go ahead and take them. And don't forget to advertise Roger's Weapons Shop.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you, young man. Are you interested in something?
I need weapons. Many weapons.
No problem. Here you can find as many as you want. And if you don't see something around, I can order it for you. But I need your ID and your carry permit.
I'll be back with the documents. Many documents.
I'm sure of it.
Excuse me. All these weapons are messing with my mind. How long has this shop been running?
Basically ever since Boun-Town existed. In every town there's a shop selling weapons, and Rogers is the ultimate shop in the city. We have weapons from all countries and all ages. Our centerpiece is that gun on display over there. It dates all the way back to the early 1700s. My grandpa found it hidden in his attic. It's in a perfect state of preservation.
I'd only like to take a look, thanks. I couldn't help but notice the gun on display.
You have a good eye, kid. It's the finest piece we have. It's an authentic weapon from the early 1700s. My grandpa found it in the attic, and since then it has always been on display here in our shop. We've done lots of research on it, but we were never able to establish provenance. We know that it dates back centuries, and it's a unique piece. It is unmatched in handling and finish. How it ended up in my grandpa's attic is currently a mystery. There's an inscription, J. Roger. We think it belonged to one of our forefathers, and in our family tree, there's nobody whose name started with a J. The first Roger to arrive here in Boun-Town was Johann, but he was an Icelandic fisherman.
How much are you selling it for?
It's the only piece in the entire collection not for sale.
Why's that?
It's needed to give our shop a certain prestige. Without this, we would just be another common emporium selling weapons. Instead, many people pass through here because they know this relic is here. If I sold it, many customers wouldn't return.
I understand. There must be something for which you would be willing to part with that gun.
Absolutely not. There is no other weapon identical to this. You could try to find another identical one, but according to the research we did, it's a unique piece. And even if I found another one of the same value, I could never trade it. As I already told you, our patronage is based, at the end of the day, on this heirloom. That's why we installed a very sophisticated alarm system that goes off as soon as the weapon is removed.
How does your alarm system work?
It detects the presence, weight, and dimensions of the object. As soon as this is removed, it immediately goes off. The only chance to steal it would be to substitute the gun with another identical one. But being one of a kind, it's absolutely impossible. I'd say it's a foolproof system.
Understood. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Hello, dude. Peace be with you. May I help you somehow?
I like the selection of instruments in this shop.
Thanks, dude. It took years to stock up so much choice, to test every single instrument to make it harmoniously perfect.
As in an orchestra where everything must be perfect?
No, dude. No. I'm talking about harmony, with a capital H. Each instrument has a sound that connects your inner self with the motion of the universe. making you a part of the whole.
And did you find the formula for this harmony?
Dude, for more than 50 years, I've experienced things that link me with the harmony of the universe. But the path is still long, and there's still a lot to try.
That's not hard to believe. I'd be curious to know what kind of experiments you conducted.
Better not ask certain things, dude.
In this case, I agree. Is smoking allowed in this shop?
Dude, who do you take me for? I could never go against the law and cause harm.
It looks like you're smoking.
No, dude, this is the new frontier. Electronic cigarettes.
I see. Aromatized flavor?
Yeah, you could say that. An aroma that expands your mind to connect you with the whole.
I'm content. I don't want to investigate further. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I wish you peace and love.
A tuning fork can always come in handy. Excuse me, can I take that tuning fork?
Sure. It's available to customers to find harmony.
Thanks. Hey, there are other musical instruments here too, but these seem to be more ancient. It looks like a mechanical piano. I can't play it. To make it work, a musical roll would be necessary. I never saw one so old, though. There's an engraving, Walter Fly, 1712. It's a bow, but it's so old that the strings are worn out. I'll take it with me. If I can find a way to replace the strings, I can use the cello. Have you ever heard of Walter Fly?
I'm thinking, dude. I think he's a singer from the 60s. No, wait. Dude, inspiration? It's just about to come. It's been a while since I heard that name. Walter Fly was a distant relative of mine, my third or fourth something or other. If I recall correctly, in the back room is a mechanical piano that belonged to him. Dude, he was like a musical genius. A sort of Beethoven of his age. Just that he didn't play in big theaters, only on transport vessels, or so I recall. Plus, he was very good at mechanics. Dude, he knew how to put things in harmony.
What do you mean?
The harmony between music and mechanics. Everything revolves around harmony, dude. In the back room, there are still instruments at the time Walter Fly came here to Boun-Town.
I understand. How come the instruments in the back room are not on display?
For the harmony of things, dude. Those instruments must be in that room. If I move them, I'd change the order of the things, and it wouldn't be good at all.
Really?
Actually, no, they can't be sold. One of my great-great-grandfathers put a clause on that action. The Flies can sell all instruments, except for those that belong to our progenitor. I think it's a sign of respect for the legacy he left us. If I sell them, I'd be going against the will of my ancestors, and I'd ruin the harmony. Dude, harmony is important.
I have no doubt. It seems something is missing from the piano in the back room.
Dude, you have sharp eyes. That is one of the first mechanical pianos. It works with a specific roll that makes the melody start.
Can you tell me where I can find a roll?
Impossible. I know there was only one for that model, but it was lost long before I was even born. My father told me that his grandfather loaned it to someone. For what reason, I don't know. And then it was never given back. I have no idea where it might have ended up.
Thanks anyway. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I wish you peace and love.